I took 6 trades today, and actually only had one of them that worked out for me. It turned on me a lot, so I had to get out. Either that or I was too greedy. But anyway, so I thought it was a little difficult today for me. But so what do we do? I mean, let's just look at and see where the best trades were. I'm gonna open this up just a little bit more here. Get it down. And this is what I do whenever I go back through the day, and kind of look at everything and see where, in retrospect, where the best times to trade were. And one of the first things that I do is I'll go back and just kind of look at this. And I'm not going to worry about too much here at the end of the day because I don't take any trades over there. We'll look at that in a minute over here. I'll squeeze it out because I want to get some of this. First thing that we had this morning, we had this big gap right here. We had a gap from here all the way down to here. So we had this big gap thing right here. And we did fill the gap this morning. So, and pretty much within the first 30 minutes or so, we filled the gap. We came up all the way and got close to Friday's close. And then we came down and then we chopped. So I know some of you guys took this trade right here at the open, and there was definitely enough room right here to do CTV if you were able to do that and played that. Because what do we have? Well, let's see. Number one, you had a reversal candle right here. I mean, obviously, you gap down, and then you get a hammer candle right here, right there. See it? So, you could take that to the upside, whether it be a call. I mean, you could have gotten out right here when you had a pullback. Could have added to it. This is zone one. We don't recommend zone one for CTV or really for beginners and all of that because there's a lot of volatility and a lot of manipulation going on. But there's several things right here that kind of said this would have been a good trade to take here. Number one, you got the cycle oscillator down here is extreme, turning up. RSI was turning up right here. Dots are all still kind of messed up and everything because you got negative ticks going on here. You got yellow dots and all going on here. So you had negative Momo. You really didn't get a turn in this until we got to this point right here where we had this little pullback. And then you started doing this where we got that moving after cross. And that kind of shifted the overall tone right there. And then by the time you do that, then you got this little itty bitty short run right here. And could have, if you were going to pre-market high right here, depending on how aggressive where you were and all like that, you might have got stopped out. Or, if you held on to it too long, if you get in here, you might would have just, gave up on it. Because it didn't break out really until you got right here. And then we had this move right here coming out of all of this. And you can see that's where we got all blue dots. And we got the RSI cross. We were kind of coming out of compression here. And then cycle oscillator didn't give you a whole lot because it was I take that back. It did give you, it told you that we were in an uptrend here, but you would have to have a lot of faith in this to think that, it's just sitting here, chop, 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 chop. Because whenever it sits and chops and everything, it can fall apart just as easily as it can, rally, or it can just sit there and just keep on going and going and going. And, when you get in a situation like that, I'm going to tell you, I don't have the patience for that right there. Because especially if you're in a call or put, straight call or put, you're sitting there and theta is eating you up. So it can just sit there, and then over time, you're going to lose value on your option. So that's not the kind of trade that you want to be in there. So, but one of the things that I go through and I look at is, looking at what we had here. Let me get these dots off. Because whenever you highlight something, you get these dots so you can drag it up and down and all like that. I want that off. But let's go back. So one of the first things that I do is I get through and I just look. A lot of it I'll go through and I'll look at the moving average crosses. So we got one there, had one here, had one here, had one here. There's a lot of here. And you've heard me talk about this a lot. Whenever you start seeing this kind of thing, we got moving averages like, really nestled together, and look at your energy band. that is telling you right there that price is not going anywhere. You can see that VWAP is holding steady and being respected. If you don't have, you may not have VWAP on your chart. If you don't, that's fine. You don't really need it because you can look at the 20. You can look at just the bars. Let me get these out of the way again. Just look at your bars where they're coming down. Wick, 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 wick. Where are these wicks? They're all right here. You don't need VWAP to tell you that there's a level right there. And you can kind of look back right here in the, zone 1. We came up, we hit a level there, and we pulled back, because we came up, pulled back, and then we broke that level, came up, and then we came back down, and we kept retesting this level. And we respected that level. It held. So, the question there is, what do we do? Well, what do you do whenever you're in consolidation like this? Now, it did not say that we were in consolidation until we got our compression, until we got over here, which was like right around this time period here. I'm not good at drawing these straight lines like that. But anyway, it was somewhere around here like 10:30, 10:45, probably about 10:35 whenever we actually hit the first compression dot. But you can kind of see without even this, you can see that price really wasn't doing any kind of moving. And it was right there trading inside the energy band. Here, put this back on. Bert, real quick question right here. How to add more back days for charts. That's pretty easy to do. Go to the window that you're wanting to look at. And this is not something that you want to do all the time. I recommend doing this after hours, not during market trading days. It defaults to 2 days. Go to your time frame right here, then go down to customize. And on this first page right here, where you got the settings, style, scaling, and properties, go make sure your settings is checked, and then come over here in the middle of the window right here. You've got the range. And see, I've got mine set to 5 days. So mine will give me 5 days worth of data. I think it defaults to 2 days. So if you're only getting 2 days, then you can come to this and you can change it to 5. You can change it to 10. You can change it to 20 or whatever. And then save it, and it'll load all of that in. Now, for the red bar, green bar indicator, you'll have to go in and select that indicator, to get the red bar and green bar and everything, and tell it how many turns you want, because I think it only gives you like maybe 10 turns or 20 turns or something like that. And once you get a bunch of data on, as you scroll back, you'll notice that you don't get these the red bars and green, the horizontal bars here and all like that. So, but that's how you get those. Yeah, and you can see I've got 5 days on mine. It goes back, it gives me all the time of days and everything, blah 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 blah, all that kind of good stuff. And then it'll go back, and then you can see after like 5 days or going into 5 days, it kind of fades away. And then, so if you want to add stuff, if I wanted to look at 10 days, I'd have to go back and reset that, and then I get 5 more days. The thing is, if you leave it like that, then when you're trying to trade and everything, it's still calculating all of this stuff in the background. If you got 30 days worth of indicator data and all of this going on, that's really going to bog your screens down and all of that. So I don't like to keep more than about 5 days on mine. And most of the time, if I remember, I'll just go ahead and set it back to 2 days during trading hours. And then if I want to analyze, then I'll go back and add more days to it that way. That way I don't clutter up my memory while I'm actually trying to trade. Okay. But yeah, that's a great thing. Not everybody knows that, but that's a really good thing to go back and do. And I do it all the time. Usually I'll do it. I may do it after hours, go back like, just a couple of days, whatever, 5 days or something like that, and go back 3. A lot of times on Fridays or on the weekends, whenever I got downtime and all like that, then I'll go back and I'll look at the entire week or the last 2 weeks and put those days in. And then sometimes I'll even go back 30 days and just scan through them, because whenever I'm looking through like what we're doing right now, I do like to go back through and see how consistent all of this stuff is. So, I mean, like I said, what I do is, I'll go through it. We're talking about the compression and everything right here. See all those moving averages right there? Okay. That's one of the first clues that I get. And then you can see we actually broke out and see price started moving outside of the energy band right here, started getting separation. We got above the 20. Notice how the 20 was pretty flat right here. And this is, remember, this is the 3-minute chart. This is not my 2-minute chart. This is 3-minute. But you can see it's flat. Price came up to the 20, and then it came down. And then it kind of like hung out right here with VWAP. All the moving averages got really flat. And then we actually broke out. I like to see this down here. Now, you don't always get that. One of the things that I'm kind of starting to look at and learn is, or I guess test, is looking at the cycle oscillator as it crosses the zero line right here, or after it comes out of a red thing here and then goes green and then red, and that type of thing, looking at those breaks. So I mean, there's a lot of information in this thing, and it's taken me a while to really kind of learn how to decipher it and all. It's easy whenever you get this kind of stuff, whenever you get it down here to a straight up like that, because that's this. So you get this going on here, and you get this going on here. That's easy to see. It's like whenever you get this kind of mess going on right here, it's like you get this up, down, up, down, up, down, and all like that. And you get the red down, the green up, and all like that. So sometimes, especially whenever I'm starting to see, whenever you see consolidation, you can look at where the cycle oscillator is and look at your other indicators. See, we got the crossover on the RSI, and then we had green dots going on, ticks, and then we got our blue dots right here. Now we were in compression, but notice how compression was coming down, and then it started coming up, and we actually broke out like right here, and then we started breaking out, and we got this move right here. So in my opinion, this was the first move of the day. This was the best move, and it wasn't right here at 10 o'clock. It was coming out of, what is this, the 1040 zone right here, coming out of 1040 going into the 11 o'clock time of day. So this is kind of a breakout trade right here. But that would have been your first best move if you didn't take this one, which most people did not. But what did we get in order to signal us with that trade right there? We had all this compression right here, and all that conversation I just had right there was really to point out how this stuff kind of gives you confluence and sets you up to look at this. So you get, we had compression going through, or we had I'll say consolidation, not necessarily compression, because compression didn't show up until we actually got down to here. But we had consolidation. So, and there's a difference between, compression is defined by when the Bollingers get inside the Keltner channels. Okay. And I don't have Bollingers or Keltner channels on here, but we got the 3-2-1, and that's what gives us that. But you can just look at this, and especially, after you get some trading experience, looking at charts and everything, you can see where the price is trending up or trending down, or if it's consolidating. It's going to do one of three things, right? We know this. It's either going to pop, it's going to chop, or it's going to drop. There's three ways that price can go. It can go up, it can go down, or it can go sideways, right? That's not rocket science. So what's it doing right here? Yeah, it looks like it's moving up and down a little bit, but all it's really doing is just ebbing and flowing and just chopping right here. So it's consolidating. It's not in compression until we get, the technical definition of the Bollingers inside the Keltners. But that's not really important. I mean, it's nice. This is a nice visual right here. You know exactly what's going on. But my point is that you can look up here and you can just look at your chart and look at the price action. And you can see where this is a bird cage. This is what I would draw on my chart right here. This is a bird cage. And I'll tell you guys, it's like, I'm not interested in this until we get a breakout. It's going to go. It's either going to go, or it's going to break, pull back and retest, or it's going to break and then fall back inside. But that's what I'm looking for. And then you get these clues down here as to what's going to happen with your Momo, the kind of the dots, the RSIs that moving up or moving down, breaking. And then you got this. We had this kind of thing going on here with the cycle oscillators, like red to green to red to green to red to green. That's just up, down, up, down, up, down. So it's telling you right here, along with RSI, just kind of up and down, up and here, not going anywhere, that your price is not going anywhere yet. It is not ready to move. It's sitting here thinking about what it wants to do. And then you start to see this. We did have ticks here. We had ticks, but they weren't going anywhere yet. And it may be that we were above 200. I don't know exactly where the ticks were. We can pull that up and look at it if you guys want to. But it may be that the ticks were just kind of like hanging out and we, not really going anywhere. It's like no fuel in the tanker. It's just stuck there, say like at 200 ticks, but not, in order to move, you need to have the ticks kind of continue to move on up so that you can get this kind of price action going on here. That may not have been what was going on, but anyway. And then we're also close to this level here too. So, it could have come up here and pulled back, but it didn't. This was yesterday's close or Friday's close right here. But we broke out here. So there was a trade, you could take that right here and then it pulled back a little bit. You could have gotten it right here. That would have probably been about 65s. And it would have taken it a while to convert, but you could definitely gotten a debit spread right there and made a profit on that. But, and then we had, we put in a red bar right up here. So we got a pullback, came back to the 8. We actually wicked down to the 20 right here, but came inside the energy band here, and then it moved back up. And then we tested this level again, chopped some more, came back down, came down to yesterday's close. Then we had moving average. This is all the lunchbox right here. Then we had this out of lunchbox trade right here, kind of set up right here, and then it kind of crept up a little bit, and then it pulled back. Just kind of like it moved up, pulled back, moved up, pulled back, and all like that. But it kind of held the 20 here. If you look at the 20 as a support line, so there's a continuous upward trajectory right here. So the overall move on this one was from about right here all the way to, kind of up here, zone 10, where we got the red bar. So, there was red bars along the way because that's where we had these little pullbacks here. And you hear me talk about these a lot of times also. When you get these intermittent red bars along the way, you can, and you're in an uptrend, you can look at those red bars as levels of support or resistance. So, if you get a pullback, and it comes back and it holds support like at the 20 down here and it moves back up, you can look at that red bar level as a level of resistance. And then if it breaks that out, then it turns into a level of support. And just kind of, you've noticed when you go back through and look at your daily charts or look at the chart over the day's course, if we've had that, you can see, whenever we've had these, an uptrend, you're going to have a stair-step set of red bars right there. And you can kind of see that right here. See, we have one, then we had another one, and we had another one, and then another one, and then we finally had this one right up here. So, and you see how price came up to it, pulled back, came back up to it, kind of creeped above it, pulled back, came back up, tested it again, pulled back again, and then did the same thing here, just kind of kept on up and up and up until it actually broke the 20 right here and then came down for the end of day move right here. And we actually got an extreme on the cycle oscillator here. We can see breaking out of this one out of the lunchbox, we actually had an extreme right here in the cycle oscillator, and then we got the cross right here, and then we also got blue dots and yellow ticks. We were still in compression as it was kind of breaking out. because I don't think it really broke until probably we took this red bar level right here, but the move actually started before there. So if you kind of looked at that, you know, right there would probably be the entrance right there, and that would be kind of like right around here where we got all blue dots, but it's still in compression. So I mean, that's a little gutsy trade right there, but it is setting up, and whenever it breaks out of this level here, that's your out of lunchbox move there. But you can kind of see how your indicators lined up in confluence with that. This one right here, this looked like it would be setting up for a down move, and it did pull back, but see, all of this held. So, and you can see it came down and it kind of held right here. We got a little tick back up, and then we had, you know, this right here coming down to the extreme, but it didn't really go that far, did it? It came down to yesterday's close and, you know, kind of broke the 20 right here, but it didn't completely break down. It held yesterday's close. And then all that was in the lunchbox compression time period too.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.